A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
Oh, high noon and welcome in. My name's Mitch Nellis, and this is your friendly sports radio program here in Milwaukee. Tommy Wirtz is here. Hi, Tommy.
Oh, hey, Mitchell.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Nice. I'm great. I'm fantastic. Happy Wednesday. Home day.
Mm-hmm.
We need every Wednesday, we need somebody named Mike on the show. Mike. Home day.
Who do we got in the Rolodex that
There's got to be. We got a bunch of Mikes, right? There's got to be Mikes out there. Who we got?
Weekly with McCartney would be cool.
McCarthy would be cool.
Right. Mike would be cool. Big Mike would be cool.
Yep.
McCleary, right? Badgers.
Yep.
Mike.
He's more of a Michael.
He is more of a Michael.
He did check. He's the one who checked himself into a basketball game once without permission, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That is such a great Twitter bio. I love that.
What are we not counting Michaels?
I think we are. What, you got some Michaels?
Mikey Henniger.
Oh, Mikey.
Jocko.
Mikey's in. Jocko. Jock is in, of course. Mike. Jacques is.
Vassallo. Spofford.
Oh. Wojciechowski, who used to work for the.
Mike Wall. Yeah, we got a lot of Mikes.
Wicket.
Yeah.
How about Wicket?
Yeah, that's another one, too.
Let's see. Oh, there's Jocko. Mike Heller.
Yeah.
We should grab Mike Heller sometime.
We can get Mike's on once a week.
Let's see. If you know any Mikes who should be on the show, please let us know. 414-677-1250. Mike Kelly, point guard for the Badgers in 2000 when they went to the Final Four.
All right.
He's still around too. Like I used to have him on a lot. I mean, obviously it's been 26 years, but when that team was a little more relevant. Mike Breen, I got Mike Breen's number.
Oh, that's cool.
Should we text Mike Breen right now?
Just say bang.
Just see if he writes back. Do you think he'll write me back? There's no way, right?
I don't know. Is it even still his number?
I'll bet it is because it's a New York number. We used to have him on when I was on with Homer, and I would definitely have to be like, hey, I used to host the show with Homer. We used to have you on. I have my own show now with Mason Crosby. I'd love to have you on the show. Like, I think that I got Mike Florio's number.
Oh, okay.
Mike Florio. Oh, my God. We got a bunch of Mike Doble, owner of Explorium Brew Pub, where you're going to be tomorrow for the leadoff show, 11 to noon?
11 to noon, yeah.
What time's the game?
Game's at noon.
The game's it's a 12:05 or 12:10 start or whatever it is?
East Coast. It's going to get brought up today on the Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show at some point during that hour and a half we're on today. Best start times for baseball games.
Oh, that's a great topic.
Especially during the week right now. 5:40 first pitches. Awesome.
Don't ruin it.
Awesome.
Don't use your best stuff here.
I'm just telling
Save
you.
your best stuff. That reminds
it.
me, Tommy, that reminds me of the great conversation that we have. I don't know how, because you've lived in California for a little bit.
Yep.
But you've never lived on the East Coast. I have frequent discussions with friends of mine, growing up in Boston, went to Madison, have a number of friends who live in LA. What is the best Sunday NFL kickoff time? And what is the best full day schedule? Like, the California people love it because football's over and you still have your day.
Sure.
East Coast people love it because they can do like brunch and morning stuff. I think Central Standard is the best because you can still do brunch and morning stuff and it doesn't go too late. By the way, real quick, I've got Mike Felger from the Sports Hub in Boston, a Wisconsin native. Mike Lucas, Mike DeCourcy. That's most of my mics there. All right, that's not bad. We got some mics. Mike. Hump day. Welcome in on this Wednesday. It is the Mason Crosby Show. Human Wednesday for Mason. But for the rest of us, we're going to be humans because we are here. My name's Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. His name is Tommy Wirtz. And the Brewers are 4 games over 500 and in last place. I know we talked about this a little bit yesterday with Paul Wagner. I know we've talked about this on all the different shows, the records, the craziness going on in the NL Central. Well, it continues after last night. Pittsburgh, who was in first place like a week ago, is only 5-5 in their last 10, and they're now tied with the Brewers for last place.
Mm-hmm.
The Cincinnati Reds apparently can't lose a baseball game.
No.
They're the best team on earth.
Cubs are hot right now, too.
Cubs are hot as well. I believe the Reds and the Cubs are both 8-2 in their last 10. And the Brewers just keep doing their thing, 13-9. And last night they did a thing we've seen. Have we seen back-to-back home runs this year? For the Brewers? I don't recall back-to-back home runs.
Doesn't ring a bell.
But back-to-back home runs happen, right? In baseball, not frequently, but it happens.
Enough.
Yeah. You know what doesn't happen?
What's that?
I can't even remember back-to-back triples.
Sanchez left center. On the run is Baez. It's over his head and off the wall, and Sanchez can run for a while. He's at second. He turns. He's trying for 3.
What?
And the big boy is in with a slide. It's a triple for Sanchez. And a line drive down the right field line. That could be another triple. Sanchez scores with ease. Mitchell around second. Headed for third, and he is there with a slide. Back-to-back triples for the Brewers.
My first question is, Tommy, was Garrett Mitchell at second base before Gary Sanchez scored?
I was going to ask, how many players in the Brewers lineup get an inside the park home run out of that hit from Gary Sanchez?
Oh, a lot of them.
Like, if everyone else hits it the exact same way, is Gary Sanchez the only guy that wouldn't score on that play?
No.
Maybe Rengifo doesn't.
Nah, I think
Bill
Rengifo's got some
doesn't.
of those. Bill does not.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, I don't know if Jake does. I don't know if Vaughn does.
I think Jake does.
I think Jake probably gets going.
Jake's got to play at the plate.
Yeah.
Vaughn doesn't. You're right.
But
yeah.
everybody else scores.
I mean, Bryce Terang, for sure.
Right.
Garrett Mitchell, for sure.
Yep.
Joey Ortiz.
Yes.
Sal Frelick.
Yep.
Yes. Matos. I don't think Matos does.
I don't know his deal.
But then Hamilton, Perkins, Jones.
Hamilton laps it. Hamilton scores twice.
Hamilton
hits home and keeps going.
Yeah, Hamilton might score twice on that. I think you're right. It was a hell of a play for Gary Sanchez, and it's just his 4th career triple in the big leagues now. And Garrett Mitchell, I think when you see something like that out of Garrett Mitchell, you see his speed, because that ball was a double for sure.
Yeah.
It takes speed to get a triple out of the ball he hit.
Yeah.
That is a huge part of Garrett Mitchell's game. He's staying healthy right now. He looks great. He's driven in. He's already got his second most runs driven in
a season.
Yeah, he is 3 away from his career high with 21 back in 2024, in which he played 69 games that year to get to that number. And this year, he's got 20 games and 18 runs driven in.
I know that. I don't know why ESPN does this, and so I think because there's no DH anymore, we're more used to seeing stats given in a way that it's like all Major League Baseball. It used to be a big deal. You'd have the AL list and the NL list, and now it's just the Major League list. And that's fine. But look at the NL only. Bryce Terang and Garrett Mitchell tied for 10th in RBI, both with 18, leading the team. And they are absolutely getting it done. You're right. I mean, are we allowed to get excited about Garrett Mitchell yet? 414-677-1250. We've been watching Garrett Mitchell for the past 3 years. And we know that as a physical specimen, as someone who has an arm, someone who has power, someone who has speed, someone who really defines all 5 tools ahead of Sal Frelick, ahead of Bryce Terang, ahead of Joey Ortiz, ahead, maybe not ahead of Jackson Chourio, but in that conversation when Garrett Mitchell was coming up, and when we look at the physical tools, and he has not been able to stay healthy. Are we finally able to think about being excited about Garrett Mitchell's potential and the fact that he can achieve said potential if he can stay healthy and play at this level. 414-677-1250. Are you believing this Garrett Mitchell, or are you just waiting for something to go wrong?
I think if the baseline is you expect Garrett Mitchell to be the 7-hitter, sixth best player on the team, maybe.
Okay.
I think you can get to that point with Garrett Mitchell because assuming health, right?
Yep.
I mean, Terang, Contreras are ahead of him. Churio's ahead of him.
Yep.
Yelich is ahead of him.
Yep.
Vaughn is where the question, I think, starts to come in on if he is going to be more valuable than Andrew Vaughn this year to the Brewers.
And if Garrett Mitchell can fulfill his potential, he's probably ahead of Vaughn.
Yeah, so does that put him at fifth?
Yeah.
Sixth?
Terang, Contreras, Yelich,
Churio.
Yep. I think that's where we believe Garrett Mitchell can be. Like he's now, I know Salas started the season poorly, but in the overall hierarchy of the organization, Salas probably still ahead of Garrett in terms of what he has done in the past, how he's been able to stay healthy in the past. And again, Garrett's not there. He's played 20 games this year. He played 25 games last year. In his healthy year of 2024, he played 69 games.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's never played a half season in the major leagues.
You think that that's just based on what they have done so far for the Brewers, though, Sal and Garrett Mitchell, right? Now, as far as peak potential goes.
No, that's not peak potential.
Okay.
Peak potential, Garrett Mitchell might be number one.
Ooh.
Garrett Mitchell might be number one of who is healthy on this, not who's healthy on this team, of who is available on this team. His peak potential might be better than Churio.
Really?
It might be.
Is it better? It's better than Bryce in your mind, then?
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
I think it's definitely better than Bryce. Peak. I'm talking peak. I don't like. Listen, I predicted before the season started last year that Garrett Mitchell could be a 30-30 guy. Okay, Bryce could be a 30-30 guy, but I'm not sure he can. Churio, I'm pretty sure can be a 30-30 guy, but I'm like, to me, and peak potential isn't just, oh, can you be a 30-30 guy or whatever. But to me, defense, speed, power, Garrett Mitchell, to me, is number one. I don't think we're ever going to see that Garrett Mitchell. Like maybe we'll get a season out of him when he turns 28 or 29 or whatever that is. But I'm willing, and so that's why I'm willing to say, like, I don't think that's the Garrett Mitchell that exists on Earth, but peak potential Garrett Mitchell in the alternate universe is that guy.
Let me read off some numbers here, okay?
Yep.
145 games.
Okay.
31 homers, 102 runs driven in, stealing 7 bags,
okay.
Batting average of 280,
okay.
340, 525. That's an 865 OPS.
525 is good.
That's an 865 OPS. That is 2010 Corey Hart.
Okay.
Can he have a better season than that?
He can have that season.
Okay.
How many doubles? How many doubles did Corey have that year?
34.
34 doubles, 31 home runs, 7 steals. I mean, if Garrett Mitchell goes 22 home runs and 37 steals,
does it balance out?
And has the same OPS. Because right now he's at 873.
Yeah.
So if he has an 850 OPS, has a few less home runs, has the same amount of doubles, has more stolen bases, he does have a lot of strikeouts. How many strikeouts did Corey have that year? Do you still have it up?
Yeah, I still have it up. How many strikeouts?
Yeah.
Probably lower on this right here. I'll report back in a second here.
All right. But because I think that's where Garrett Mitchell, like that, he strikes out a lot. No doubt about it. He's got 4 steals. He's been caught twice, 27 strikeouts, 16 walks. Not a terrible ratio. Yet his on base is 437. Like 437 is all-star level on base percentage. By the way, Q's real name is Mike. I had no idea.
Yeah, that's weird.
That is breaking news here on the Mason Crosby Show. Q writes in on the YouTube channel. That's WI Sports Radio. For those of you who want to be part of the show, his real name is Mike. Wow, that is that. I just assumed it was like Quentin or something with a Q. Am I wrong?
No,
maybe his last name's Q. I don't know. 414-677-1250. Basically, I didn't expect to go this direction, but
140 strikeouts.
140. So, all right, that's all right. Like if Garrett Mitchell could be because he's at 27 strikeouts through 20 games. So he's averaging more than a strikeout a game. He's on pace for like 180, 190. If he could keep that around 140, I'd feel a lot more comfortable about
Corey
that.
Hart finished 25th in MVP voting that year. Got MVP votes.
Yeah, he should have gotten MVP votes. That's a big season.
Yeah.
That's a great year. 414-677-1250. I didn't expect to go in this direction. I do believe that Garrett Mitchell is that guy. I don't think that Garrett Mitchell will ever be him. I don't believe he will ever be him. I don't believe he will pass Yelich, Contreras, Chourio, Terang. I think that he is the fifth. If he's your fifth best hitter and he's hitting 273, 437, 436 for an 873 OPS, a 0.5 WAR through 20 games, which means he's on pace for a 4 WAR, I'll take that. I'll sign up for that today. And that means he's probably your fifth best hitter. And if he's your fifth best hitter with these numbers, I think you're in good shape with regards to your started something. It better be good.
It was not. It was something that just popped up on my social media.
Oh,
feed.
man.
I'm sorry.
I was excited. 414-677-1250. Garrett Mitchell lovers, Garrett Mitchell haters. Let's go. Brian's in South Milwaukee. Brian, you're first up on the Mitch Crosby Show with me, Mitch Thunder Nellis.
Hey, guys. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason they drafted him where they did, because obviously he has all the tools to be a above average major league player.
Yep.
It's just been the fact that, and I'm sure Mason's seen that in football too.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got these ultra talented guys that for one reason or another just can't stay healthy, and it just zaps their ability to perform and contribute. But I mean, so far this year, he has been phenomenal as far as what they've gotten out of him, and it's almost like they signed a free agent with having to go out and get a free agent, just because he hasn't been available for basically his entire career in the major leagues with Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's almost like, we talk about when the Brewers get Vaughn back, or when they got Vaughn last year, or when they got Woody back last year, or when they're going to get Chourio back this year, that it's like you signed a free agent or you made a major trade without making it because somebody came off. It's almost like if Garrett Mitchell can be this guy, it's almost like the Brewers got a free roster spot for not an all-star, but a very good player who they kind of stopped counting on. And if he can be healthy, all of a sudden that changes the complexion of this team, Brian.
Well, it certainly helps with the depth. I mean, because they've got a lot of good outfielders there. And, I mean, you have to realize, too, he is a very good fielder as well. So that's another thing
Absolutely.
that he adds to the element. He's tall, he's big, so he can cover a lot of ground out there.
Yeah, he really can in center. Yep. Brian, great. Thanks for the call. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. Your thoughts. Schwartz Center writes, and I'm also a Mike. I knew that Mike Schwartz was a Schwartz Center. I mean, it was a Mike. I also knew that he was a Schwartz Center. I did know that one on the text line. 414 writes in, let's remember that if Chourio doesn't become more patient at the plate, he will never reach his peak. His on-base percentage last year was 308. For those of you keeping track at home, 308 is not a very good on-base. Garrett Mitchell, it's only been 20 games, but 437 is all-star level. I'm not saying Garrett Mitchell is going to be an all-star. I will go on record as saying I don't think Garrett Mitchell will be an all-star, but 437 is all-star level on base. And we talked about this a little bit. I think we brought this up yesterday, Tommy, right? The great on-base percentages of both Bryce Terang and Garrett Mitchell. Didn't we talk about their on-base percentages?
Yeah, we did today too. You just said RBIs too.
Well, RBIs.
They were second and third, right? In the NL, something like that.
They were second and third in the NL. Garrett Mitchell overall in Major League Baseball now is fourth in on-base percentage. Bryce Terang is sixth. I mean, you got two of the top six guys in on-base percentage, and that will cover up. That's one of the reasons our Milwaukee Brewers are 13-9 with Chourio, Vaughn, and Yelich hurt.
Yeah.
Is that Garrett Mitchell and Bryce Terang? I mean, Bryce Terang is achieving superstar status. Like he's amazing. And we talked about, we're going to be talking about it every day. Tommy led the charge, and Tommy didn't know that I was in Tommy's, that I was on the same page with Tommy when Tommy brought up last March, not March of 2026, March of 25, in spring training.
Yeah.
The regular season hadn't even started yet. The Brewers hadn't even been torpedoed yet in New York City when Tommy said, sign Bryce. And literally the second he said it on the show, I said, yes, I have also been saying this, and I am on your page, Tommy. We agree. And we said it in March of 25.
Yeah.
Sign Bryce Terang. Well, boy, should the Brewers, should Wisconsin have been listening to us over the past 13 months, because we were sure right on this one, Tommy.
Well, and here's the only way. I'm not looking for any credit on it. I'm looking.
I'll take it.
I want,
because we deserve
I just
it.
want,
I
it
want
to,
it for you.
I just want it to happen.
No, you're right.
I just want
That's
it to
fair.
happen. So I understand that they have 3 more years of team control of Bryce Terang after this season.
2 more years, because next year's not going to happen. But that's cool.
Well,
Actually, does that extend? I don't know. Who knows? They're going to tear the whole thing up.
if they sign him at the end of it,
Right.
totally okay then. Fine.
Agreed.
Pay
Agreed.
if you want to pay more money for him, you want to extend him, wait to get as much as you can out of it, save as much money in this arbitration phase.
Yep.
Like, sure, go ahead, do it.
Yep.
If he leaves or you trade him, then I'm not okay with it.
Right.
Then because then
Agreed.
it was, we told you last year
That
to
is
do
correct.
this, and you would have a friendly deal on it. Like I said, I would sign Bryce Terang to a 10-year deal today.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
He'd be 36 years old at the end of it. You want to go hit free agency like Andrew McCutchen did at the end of it? Go ahead. Fine. Go ahead. 10 years.
I don't know if we're going to see guys contributing at 34, 35, 36 anymore like they used to. And I think you see that now. Like, you see a lot of guys not contributing, guys' bodies breaking down. I think the not using steroids to stay healthy, I think I don't want to say has hurt baseball, but has hurt guys' ability to play into their late 30s. I just don't think you see a lot of guys playing into their late 30s. I'd rather sign Bryce. I'd rather sign him to a 7-year deal. I don't know if I'm up for, and then if he needs to go get, and then if he can go get his flowers somewhere else for the last 5, and then sign a 5-year deal at 33 with the Mets, go sign your 5-year deal for $150 million. Like, and if I'm Bryce, I'm not signing a 10-year deal either, because you're not getting a big deal at 34, 35, 36.
So
I would sign the longest deal I would sign if I'm Bryce is 7.
I also think that
Maybe 6
using the MLB second base market as a barometer is not the right way to look at it.
I don't know. Simeon got paid a lot.
I think that, first of all, you got to look at the Brewers' largest contracts.
Oh, well, then it's a whole different conversation, because the Brewers have one contract at a time.
Right.
They Braun, then they Yelich, and they will have to, and they've, like, thankfully they locked up Churio. We have no idea if Cooper Pratt's even going to play Major League Baseball, but we will see who the next $20+ million guy is. Woody's a 1 year, so that doesn't really count. But who's going to be the next 8-year, $160 million guy?
I'm just saying that 7 years, $188 million was Christian Yelich, and Bryce Terang.
Yep.
Absolutely should make more than he should be the highest paid Brewer of all time.
Overall or per year?
Just largest contract number.
So it should be bigger than 188.
Yeah. Yeah. That works out to $27 million a year. 7 years, 188. Now you can do that 9 years. 9 years, 190.
Right. But if I'm Bryce, I don't sign that. There's no universe that I sign a 9 year.
I'd sign him 10 year, 220 right now.
He wouldn't.
Saying that's what they should
like,
do.
He'd be an idiot to sign that deal.
No.
He would be an absolute moron to sign that deal. There's no universe that Bryce Terang would ever look at that deal and not tear it up immediately.
Why? $22 million a year?
Not even close.
For
Not
a
even
second
close.
baseman.
Not even close.
For a second baseman?
Not even close. What did Marcus Simeon sign for?
He's getting 25 a year.
Right. What's Ketel Marte going to get?
He's getting 19 a year.
Right. What did Nico Horner get?
141. I can't do that.
Right.
Math.
So it's 20 and 21 more. So it's 23 and a half. Something like that, I think.
23 and a half on the dot.
Yeah. I mean, I do.
That's sick.
No, 120 divided by 6 is 20. Then there's 21 million left. 21 divided by 6 is 3.5.
Mitch, how many presidents can you name?
No, you're the president's guy.
Yeah, all right. That's what I
did. You ever see Die Hard with a Vengeance? Do you see the truck driver who knew all the presidents?
No, I did not see that.
That's so good. But if Horner got 23 and a half and Marte got, or Simeon got 25 or whatever, and Marte's going to get more, like, if you're Bryce Strang, it's great that you buy out these 3 years of $10 million a year for the next 3 years. But at that point, you're going to be worth, assuming you're on this trajectory, $30 million a year. And so if you take 10, 10, 10, so that's 30, and then 30 times 7 is 210. I'd sign, 10 for 240, I guess, isn't that different than 10 but 220. And that's a hometown discount. All right, you might have convinced me there, Tommy. You might have convinced me. Yeah. All right, but here's the issue. If I'm Bryce Strang, I'd rather sign that 5 for 90 because then I can sign another 5 for 150. Again, 150 plus 90 is 240. It's not that different.
414 says, right. How do you know they did not try to extend Bryce Strang? That's because he didn't get signed. And also Curt Hogg coming up later on. There's been no serious discussions, according to Bryce Strang.
Right. And that was reported by Curt Hogg yesterday.
Yeah, in the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Yep. Right. So,
but listen to Curt Hogg again. We'll talk about that. Back to Garrett Mitchell. 715 says if Mitchell stays healthy, it will help by moving Churio to left. I agree with that. I think there were far too many Looney Tune adventures in center field with Jackson Churio. Like, he's just not a center fielder. He's not a major league center fielder, especially when you have Garrett Mitchell and Sal Frelick on your team. Like, you don't need to be playing Jackson Churio in center field when you have those guys because you have better defensive center fielders on your team than him. Tommy and Stella says, nice comparison with Mitchell and Hart. And Sunglasses at Night made at least one All-Star game. When he was going, he could carry the team. When he was struggling, he would strike out 4 times in 3 at-bats. That is totally true. I think Garrett Mitchell's the type of player who can carry the team. Like if he gets
in a stretch,
for
like a 2 week, right? 1 month,
not even a month, like even a week or two.
Yeah,
like he gets hot, he's gonna hit like 536.
I mean, he won that Royals game this year already.
Yeah, and so he is that type of guy who can get hot. So I think that's a great comparison by you, Tommy, for bringing that up. And I know Carrie from Tulsa writes in that P.S. My son is also type 1 diabetic. Garrett is an amazing guy, so we'll always pull for him. I know that a good friend of Big Rumbles from middle school, he is also a type 1 diabetic. And when Garrett first got drafted, they sent him a letter. And Garrett wrote back like a handwritten note and like swag and like, hey, hang in there, all because that's a big deal for a kid to have to live with. Carrie says, so happy to see others get behind Mitchell. Was so afraid he would go to another team and kill it. He has all the skills. And that's.
And you heard Pat Murphy kind of bring that up earlier this year, where it was, you're going to play this guy.
Yeah,
and he, wasn't quite convinced of him. I mean, he obviously with the Churio news, he got your hand was forced too. You can't put Greg Jones out there every day, but
right.
I mean, Garrett Mitchell, if he can stay at this consistency for all season and he ends up being the 4th, 5th best player in the lineup, I think it's going to be a good thing for the Brewers.
Can we go no break this hour? Can we just keep going?
No.
Oh, but we're rolling.
We're close to no break.
I know. We're on fire right now.
We should probably get one in.
All right. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis. We are the Mason Crosby Show, and we are making kindness contagious. Boom, 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 boom. Now tell me what you gonna do, there ain't nowhere to run. When judgment comes for you, when judgment comes, now tell me what you gonna do, there ain't nowhere to hide. When judgment comes for you, it's so good. Uncle Charlie and a rich guy got it, and I'm gonna miss everybody. This is the Mason Crosby Show. I'm Mitch Nellis, aka Thunder. Tommy Wirtz in the house, talking some Brewers baseball and famous Mike's. Mike. Hump Day here on the Mason Crosby Show, part of the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Remember, you can catch us on YouTube and on Twitter. And if you don't catch us live, you can find us wherever you listen to your audio. Just type in the Mason Crosby Show and just, grab a glass of red and hang out with Molly. Are they still? I wonder if they're still doing it while Molly's on the injured list. We'll have to check that out. But Mason and Molly are kicking it with the crew. They do their podcast. But you can also, of course, listen to the Mason Crosby Show with me, Mitch Thunder Nellis, wherever you listen to your podcasts. How about Michael B. Jordan? How about Michael Jordan? Mike Vrabel. That's a good one. Tommy Estella says, next level name dropping, Mitch. Contact name dropping. I just went through my phone, man. Like, I've been in this business for 1,000 years. I have some names that I've saved to my phone. I have a lot of names that I did not save to my phone that I'm really kind of bummed about. Of people's names and numbers that I did have. Mike Clemens. We could get Mike Clemens on the show, talk some Packers football. Absolutely. That's a good one. 414 says, I'm pulling big time for Mitchell. We've been talking about Garrett Mitchell, how good he can be. The guy would have been picked higher in that draft if it wasn't for his diabetes. I don't disagree with that. That's a good point. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer writes into the show, apparently. I don't know if it's really Sparky. 414 writes in, I have a better idea. I'll sign the most important person to this team to a $5 for $75 million deal, and that is Contreras. I'm gonna play the drum roll, and I'm gonna set the stage. Tommy Wirtz, the stage is yours.
I want to preface with, I brought this up with Sparky yesterday on his show.
We all love Bill, right? Is that the preface?
And it is stupid that in reality it is a decision to sign one or the other one, because absolutely both of these men deserve to be in Milwaukee.
Amen.
However long they want to be in Milwaukee.
That's right.
That is 100% fair.
Preach,
totally
brother.
Understand why you are saying you would sign Bill Contreras.
Amen.
I will also say this.
Okay.
He will be a catcher and over 30 years old when he is getting this 5-year extension for you. I don't doubt that William Contreras can catch into his 30s, but the track record of catchers in their 30s, they fall off a cliff all the time. He could then come back and be a DH. I think he'd be a great DH option as well. Doesn't really have a lot of pop, but his bat is great. And if he was only a DH, could he hit 25 homers as a DH? Maybe. I don't know if I'd get him to 30 in that range, and what you're going to pay him to be a DH.
Probably
only.
Not 30, but in the 20s, low to mid 20s.
What the Brewers should do is sign both of them. That is the correct answer.
Ooh.
That is the correct answer.
Ooh.
They should sign both of those guys to be a part of this franchise, to be a foundation piece in Milwaukee, because they can absolutely do it. Do not let them say that they cannot sign both of them. However, if you're going to tell me who has the better chance to A, win an MVP, it's Bryce Terang in my mind.
Yep.
B, play another position of value where, are we disqualifying that Bryce Terang's never going to move to shortstop ever again in his career? Because Mookie Betts went from the outfield to playing shortstop for the Dodgers too.
Late in his career.
Very late.
Yes.
Bryce Terang still absolutely has that option.
Yes, true.
I know people are talking about the middle infield depth of prospects with Luis Pena and Jesus Madej and Jet Williams and Cooper Pratt.
Yep.
There's a lot.
Yep.
There is Caro there too, waiting in the wings for Contreras.
3-run bomb yesterday.
I'm just saying, there is a lot going on in the middle infield for sure, but they've been excited about Caro for years at the same exact time as well.
True.
And he can definitely play defensively. It's always just been the bat. And William provides an amazing bat from the catcher position.
Yep.
I am just saying that if I had a choice between the two of them, I am picking Bryce Terang because he is pretty close to a 5-tool player. Yeah. He's on the cusp. If Rami was talking about it earlier on 9 to Noon.
What's he not?
The power is it real?
Power's there. He's got
is it real? It's still out for judgment. Is the power real?
It's been about a year. Like
I think he has
home runs last year. Yes, he had an amazing August and cooled off in September, but he's at 4 home runs this year, which is a solid number through 20 games.
I think if you're 5-tool,
games.
If you're 5-tool, there you have to hit 25 homers.
Yeah, and he's on pace for 25 home runs.
So I think I agree that the power is real, and Bill is not quite 5-tool. Now, I understand the argument Sparky was making yesterday because the Brewers are not a team that's going to go out and spend money on starting pitching. They want to draft and develop these guys or trade for them when they're prospects and bring them up through the system.
9 starting pitchers now between AAA and Major League.
Right, but they're
who can pitch in the Major Leagues.
They're never going to go out and sign the big name free agent starting pitchers.
Right,
Skubal is not going to be a Brewer next year, right? I mean, they're not even in the market.
Good business sense not to, because every pitcher who signs a big deal misses at least one season with an injury.
And Sparky is claiming that William Contreras is as valuable to the development of these young pitchers as Chris Hook is.
Ooh, okay.
And maybe he is, because look at what happened in Sproat's outings once he switched over to Contreras versus pitching with Gary.
Yes.
I mean, you had great outing from Coleman Crow throughout that process. What you've seen.
We love Gary's bat right now.
Love Gary's bat. Loved the signing when it happened.
But shouldn't be catching.
He shouldn't be playing defense. Let's just be frank. Like Gary Sanchez, it's going to be a very interesting conversation when Christian Yelich comes back on if Yelich should just get out and play left field so that Gary's bat could be in the lineup.
And there's going to become a point, probably not this year, and maybe Sanchez is only here for this year, but there will be that discussion. The backup for Contreras has to be Caro. And I think at some point, Caro, they train him to become the next Contreras. And so that's why I'm not quite as worried. Yes, I get it that Contreras is 28 and he's been through it. He was through it with the Braves. He's now through it with the Brewers. He's with it with Hook. He knows how to work these pitchers. But if Caro's going to be that guy, I think the next 2-3 years, we're training him to be that guy.
I just would love to see Terang's on a 7-year deal, Madej's on an 8-year deal, Churrio's in the 8th year, getting on his deal. Like, just build a foundation, a middle infield that could be the next 7-8 seasons of Bryce Terang and Jesus Madej. I mean, that would feed families here. Like, I'm all in on that. And so I totally understand why people want to sign William Contreras for what he has done.
Contreras is great.
And it is a dumb thing as fans that we feel we have to pick one or the other during this time. It would be severe malpractice if not one of them gets a contract from the end of this and they ended up moving on from both of them in the future. Yep. But I'm picking Bryce.
I mean,
I'm sorry, I'm picking Bryce.
The Brewers, so Contreras is playing this year for $9.4 million, right?
Yep.
He has a club option.
Yeah, they'll pick
for
that
14.5 next year.
Yeah.
No brainer, right?
Pick it up.
So we have Contreras for this year, next year. We don't quite have to think about signing him because, to your point, I would sign him right now to a 3-year deal, but I don't know what that would look like. 50?
The proposed salary in here is $575. From the Talcon tax line.
Right. So, but I don't want to sign him for a 5-year deal. I want to sign him to a 3-year deal. I don't want to sign him to more for.
You got to give him $51 million. You got to give him more than Cooper Pratt.
Okay. All right. I think it's more about annual than total, but I hear what you're saying. I'd give him 3 for 51 right now. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talking text line. 414-677-1250. Little Thunder Watch coming out. Time to take a peek. Who's on it? I know a lot of people came off it last week because everybody got fired. Doc gone. Chris McIntosh gone over the last couple of weeks. So we'll keep an eye. We'll poke on. And who do you think? Who do you think should be on Thunder Watch? I know we've gotten a little more flexible over the past couple of weeks with Brewers gear and Fiserv Forum concessions.
They went 0-3 in the gear.
I know. But I'm more, I'm more of like, these are the rules of Thunder Watch. The rules of Thunder Watch are people are on Thunder Watch. People connected to the state of Wisconsin. People that we care about locally. So, hey, Wausau, Green Bay, Appleton, Oshkosh, Duluth, Superior, Eau Claire, La Crosse, Madison, Waukesha, Kenosha. Chime in. Who is on Thunder Watch? Who in the state of Wisconsin do you think, in the world of sports, do you think needs to be on Thunder Watch? Coming up next here on the Mason Crosby Show.
thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder, thunder, thunder. Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
This is the Mason Crosby Show. Mitch Nellis, Tommy Wirtz with you. I think Goody should be on Thunder Watch until we see how he drafts. If you think it's a good draft, take him off. Bad, leave him on. That comes from Jeff on YouTube. A great introduction to this week's Thunder Watch. Tommy, what do we got?
Thunder Watch, currently on the list. Luke Fickell, Pat Murphy, Giannis.
Hold on. Luke Fickell, Pat Murphy, Giannis. Okay.
Merch prices at the Brewers team store.
Yeah.
Jimmy Haslam.
Yeah. Concession
prices at Pfizer. Luis Rengifo, Shaka Smart, Mason Crosby.
We can take Pat and Luis off.
Oh, you can take Luis off.
Yeah.
Hey, 5 games, and you're like, I got him.
I got him.
All right.
I got him. Yep. Because remember, it's just like an overall vibe.
All right.
It's not, we're still keeping an eye. Wow. Jordan Alvarez just homered again.
Yeah, he's really
He's
good.
got 11.
Baseball.
That's a lot of home runs. It's like, man. So we'll keep our eye there on Rengifo, but I don't think he's on Thunder Watch anymore. Any current Brewer players in your mind? I actually have one.
Joey Ortiz.
No, I don't want him. Like we did it last year, and like we put him on.
Sal
And we tried to get him
Frelick.
going. Sal's a good one. But Sal's like, I feel like Sal's hitting the ball. Just
He's
at
batting
people.
197 during his hot stretch
I
right
know.
now.
He's not hot, but he's hitting the ball at people. I actually got somebody I want to put on Thunder Watch from the Brewers. And we can debate this too. Kind of want Abner Uribe.
Wow.
All
right.
I don't know. I'm not. I know you just typed it in, but I don't know if I wanted you to type it in yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I can delete it always too.
How do you delete things on the computer? You can just do that. That's crazy technology.
You're gonna put him there before McGill. Feels like McGill pitching in the 6th yesterday.
Pitched well.
Did.
And
velocity was down again.
What was he throwing yesterday?
Average 96.5 fastball.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he hit 99?
I think he hit 98. That's a Thunder Watch reliever. I'm just saying.
I know it is, but I don't even like.
Put them both on there. They both stunk.
I can't overload Thunder Watch that way.
How about just the Brewers bullpen? Can we put the bullpen on there?
No, I don't want it to devolve. I've already devolved it into
You
how
want
much
Jake
I hate
Woodford Reserve on there.
No, he's fine. The 920 says Joey Ortiz on Thunder Watch and also says Brewers pet turtle. Is there a pet turtle this year?
They got
that still happening?
It was. I don't know. I haven't seen it lately, but it was Bobby.
Did
Bobby Jr.?
Did Hank eat the turtle?
Oh, dude, come on. Too soon on Hank. We got 30 seconds left to make a decision.
Oh my gosh, are we done?
Yeah.
Oh geez. Anybody else? Should anybody else be on Thunder Watch?
I kind of like Goody for the draft week.
Yeah, let's put Goody on Thunder Watch.
Okay.
Then we can take him off next week, and then next week we will discuss the bullpen.
All right.
Okay. So nobody from the bullpen today.
Just
Goody.
Goody for draft week.
Yeah.
All right, I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Okay. And we'll get more into draft week, obviously, today and much more into tomorrow. Curt Hogg is going to join us next, talk about his Bryce Strang article and everything else. Brewers, this is the Mason Crosby Show. Weather on the Fan is brought to you by the Milwaukee Area Napa Auto Care Association. It is 65 and absolutely beautiful right now in Hales Corners. Going to stay nice all day. Maybe a little rain tomorrow afternoon, but enjoy the weather, everybody.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, everybody. It's hour number 2 of the Mason Crosby Show. It's a Human Wednesday for Mason, so you've got Thunder and Tommy. And Tommy, if you are watching on YouTube or on Twitter, Tommy rocking little sister station Kiss FM. So shout out to Kiss. If you're in a market where that's a sister station, if you're in a market where that's a competitor, well, then we don't like Kiss. But 103.7 Kiss FM in Milwaukee is a sister station of the Milwaukee affiliate of the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Sure.
I have to do a little more reach on the Green Bay, Appleton, Wausau, and Duluth Superior markets for Kiss.
My friends Allie and DZ.
For any specific reason?
And Brett.
Is this a 3-legged dog situation, or what do we got? What do we got?
Oh, and Doug. Yeah. Shout out to Doug.
I mean, everybody loves Doug.
I mean, that dog is printing money for Allie right now.
Seriously.
I mean, just printing
What
money.
do we need to do on the Mason Crosby Show for me and you to have the sales team print money for some emotional connection to something on our air? I
wonder if
can we adopt a couple babies? Just bring babies in and then just get
instead
babies
of going to
us?
a firehouse, come to WI Sports Radio.
No, do not.
I wonder if our next guest, if he wrote a piece about his dog, it would do better numbers than a piece about Bryce Terang.
Oh my gosh, that is a great question, but that's not even where we're starting with our good friend Curt Hogg joining us on the Mason Crosby Show. First of all, Curt, hello.
Hello. My dog is right here. He was just barking. Moose, come here. Moose,
come
Moose.
this
way.
On,
Turn around.
Moose,
turn around, buddy.
Little Moosenheimer.
Oh, come on, Moose. Let's lift him up. Bring him over.
The Moose is loose.
There he is.
Oh,
There's our boy.
Look at you. Why is Greg Monroe in your house?
he's like, why are you lifting me up? I was so funny.
Right. I was relaxing. I got to be lazy all day, and you're bothering me. Curt, how are you, sir?
I am excellent. A few days off here while the team's in Detroit. So that's nice. All you need to know, really.
That really is. So we're going to get to the Bryce Terang article, and that's the original impetus for us reaching out to you. But we just got today's game notes. And so Mr. Tommy Wirtz has some words.
Curt, why does the opener always happen to Chad? Like if Murph wants to be if Murph wants to be like, oh, we got all these openers, whatever it is, we're gonna use them whenever sporadically. Okay, it's a 10th different guy to make a starting pitcher for Milwaukee this year, but it's always on Chad's start. Like, what does Chad have to do to prove that he should just be starting a baseball game?
Probably throw his breaking ball better. That's probably the answer. He's had an interesting start to the season. When you look at the results, they've been.
Oh no, Curt.
That wasn't even like.
Did he just get struck by lightning?
Either struck by lightning or
okay. No, I got a call. I got a call, and it was scam likely. So come on. Now.
Oh, okay. Say hi to Scam next time.
Next time, pick it up. Let's all do it together. I love talking. I love that. Sure? We can still see you. Yeah, we got you, and we can hear you.
Okay, I can't hear you. That's a slight issue.
Oh.
Let's try this again. Yeah, Chad's just struggled in terms of getting swing and miss. So they're somewhere in between and trying to figure out what role to set him up best in right now.
So Chad Patrick now has gone. His first start, he was 4 1/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run. Then pitches 5 innings against the Royals. That was his win. 4 hits, 3 walks, no earned runs. Then pitched 3 innings against Washington in a 7-3 loss. 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk. Didn't strike anybody out, but didn't give up any runs. And then against Toronto in one of those 2-1 wins. I was actually at that game Wednesday night. He went 6 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run. He's got a .95 ERA. So if his breaking stuff isn't pitching well, like he's still getting it done right now.
Yeah, he is. And he's always, that's maybe been an underrated thing about his game last year is his pitch ability, his ability to make pitches with guys on base was pretty impressive. And obviously he's got 3 different fastballs that can get you some weak contact, get you on the ground, maybe get you to pop it up. So it's not like he doesn't have the weapons to go to against left-handers. We're just, I guess the Brewers still aren't confident enough in that he can get you the results against left-handers. I know this is probably not optimal for him. Like, I don't think he's a guy that loves coming out of the bullpen after an opener, but I actually haven't seen, is it DL Hall tonight?
It is DL Hall getting the open today against Casey Mize and the Detroit Tigers.
Okay, well, he's gonna have to throw strikes. That's basically been his bugaboo to start the season. So
yeah,
I mean,
and on
to a degree.
On top of it, though, Curt, like, is this another situation of maybe Pat Murphy trying to get a guy right in the rotation or in the bullpen, like a guy like DL Hall? We've seen it with Aaron Ashby being the opener. We just saw another instance of McGill coming in the 6th yesterday. Is this something that DL Hall's had a couple of rough outings in a row now here? Let's try to mix something up, and he likes the lefty matchups at the top of the order. Like, he wants Jahmai Jones to play this game that badly? What else is there to go with DL Hall getting the start or getting the open?
Yeah, I mean, Jahmai Jones probably gets the start, and then they'll flip it to Kerry Carpenter. You know, like the Tigers have counters to it, but ultimately, like we saw this with Quinn Priester early on last year when they weren't sure that he kind of had even in the playoffs, I guess we saw with him too, that they weren't sure that he had, the goods to get the left-handers out right away. I think DL Hall, I like that they're using, I know he's not Aaron Ashby, but I would prefer to see DL Hall come out as the opener than Ashby. I know they used Ashby against Washington, but to me that was like, that's your best reliever. This is in a playoff game, like you don't, I just didn't love burning him basically for the next couple of days by having him go 3 innings or two plus innings or whatever it was in the first game of the series when you don't know how the game's going to play out. Like, I would rather just save him for the 6th, the 7th, the 8th when things are, the game is going to be close, and that is an important spot. And that's also when you have DL Hall. This is an important outing for him as well, because like you said, Tommy, it has not looked great.
Curt Hogg joining us on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. And so we do want to get to the article that you wrote recently about Bryce Turang. Tommy and I, in March of 2025, Tommy led the charge, and I immediately agreed with him. We wanted a Bryce Turang extension 13 months ago. We don't know what that would have looked like. We don't know if that was even on the table. That was before Bryce Turang decided he was a power hitter, or if he is a power hitter. But in that conversation that you had with him, a great article for those of you, if you haven't checked it out, at jsonline.com. If you are, when you talk to him, it sounds like that he would be open to that conversation, but that's not necessarily a conversation that has gotten too far down the road between him and the Brewers yet.
Yeah, well, that would have been a great time last spring for
Yes, it would
it to have worked. They had conversations in previous years. That much Bryce did say, and it's always interesting when you talk to a player about this topic, because they usually all, like the team's not commenting. The player kind of gets to get their side out, and maybe that comes through in the story as well, of like Bryce making it clear that, yeah, I would be open to an extension, but the flip side of that is it has to be the right price. And what is the right price for him? Well, it's probably not cheap at this point. Like the time to get a hometown discount was 2 years ago, and maybe that wasn't the right time for him because he didn't want to take a hometown discount. Because you got to remember about Bryce too. This is a guy who knows how good he can be. If you remember back to when he signed out of the draft, like that was not a guarantee. He was going to go to LSU unless the Brewers came through and paid him. Like he was fine going to college and turning down above slot first round money because he felt that he was that confident in his abilities. So it's going to be tough. I don't know for sure. It's maybe too early to say one way or the other, but it might be difficult for both sides to get to a middle ground right now when the Brewers, like, you think about the extensions that they make, unless suddenly ownership is like, yeah, we'll just pay for Bryce Turang. They just don't do those types of extensions. When they do these early extensions in guys' careers, like they want to get surplus value. They do the Cooper Pratt deal. They do the Jackson Chourio deal, the Aaron Ashby deal, the Freddie Peralta deal. Those are the contracts that they do with guys early in their careers. And Bryce is simply like too good to take that contract right now.
Well, and Curt, then I want to ask you, Turang's a guy who still has 3 years of team control after this season, right? Through 2029. And on top of that, there's a CBA up in the air for next season with Major League Baseball right now. What prompted you to bring these conversations up now with Bryce? This is a conversation that Brewers fans are very familiar with having with players, whether or not they're going to get this deal or going to have to move on from this pitcher and reload instead of rebuild. But why bring up this conversation now with Bryce? Is it because you fear that number's already past it and maybe they can salvage it if they get something going right now? Or you got to rip the Band-Aid off sooner to Brewers fans at this point? What went into writing the piece now about Bryce and a contract?
Well, this just felt like sort of the confluence of his career where this is the time to not only talk about it, but like maybe the last chance, like where it's realistic to talk about it. Because we were asking Willie about extensions all the way up until his last year in Milwaukee when it became clear, and like there's still enough of a chance when you just kind of look at it from a thousand feet up of like he is not. Like we might think he's a star, but he is not, a guarantee to make $30 million a year, $35 million a year in 3 years. Like there's still 3 years left of team control. And we've seen it before, whether it's with Contreras, with Adames, with Freddie, with Woody, with Corbin, they all get within 2, maybe even within 3 years of free agency, but definitely within 2. And it's like they're just too close. They're too close to a payday for the Brewers to be able to work out a deal with them. Because obviously, like we said, the Brewers are going to need some level of discount in these talks. So that's why I felt like this was the time. Obviously, a lot of people. It's a big, like, he's the guy Brewers fans want extended right now. I feel like.
Yes. Yeah. Curt Hogg joining us from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. And so that spawned the conversation. I know Sparky went big with it yesterday. Turang versus Contreras. If you picked one, if the Brewers have the opportunity to pick one, knowing that Contreras is 28 and how long can catchers catch for, and is he special if he's not a catcher, but he's certainly special as a catcher and what he does for the pitching staff. where do you kind of see the future for the Brewers if Contreras v. Terang were to happen in terms of what they could do with contracts?
In terms of like which one you feel is more likely?
Yes. Yeah.
It's Terang at this point. That's what I was kind of alluding to previously. Like you can argue about which one would be better. That's an interesting discussion to have for sure.
Yeah.
But Contreras is like, he's a year away after this season. There are never catchers of his caliber really at he'll be what, 29, 30 at that point.
Yeah.
On the market like that. There's just going to be a lot of money available to him from somewhere. And, he's a guy who doesn't have injury history really. I mean, broke his finger, but played through it. Gritty, should be able to catch for a while. Like the Brewers love some of his intangibles as well. So that just feels like, we were there with Adames. We were there with Corbin Burns. Of the chance to get that done is probably in the past.
Okay, Curt. Well, let's talk a little bit about this season so far for this Brewers team. I know you're on you're off right now. You're not with the team over in Detroit, but they had a big win yesterday. Offense really showed up for the first time all year. How concerned are you with the Brewers staying afloat during this period in which they're kind of waiting for most of their guys to get back? Your Churios, your Vaughns, your Yeliches, and how have you seen the Brewers perform this year that makes you believe they can or cannot do that until they get some of their firepower back?
Tommy, you always come prepped with the fire questions, baby. I love it.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
I am not concerned about them staying afloat. Like, I feel like this is a team that can survive. Now, the question is like, wait, what the heck is going on with this division? The Reds are not as good as they've been. The Cardinals. No. I've been impressed with the Cardinals for sure, but they're not as good as they've been. The Cubs, that's obviously the team everyone is expecting to be good as well. So it's just a matter of like, how far back are you when you are no longer in survival mode? But so far they've done a pretty good job at being in survival mode, and the young pitchers, the pitching staff as a whole, is taking some steps forward. And sorry, I forgot the second part of your question there. It's so good.
I mean, what do you believe that you think they can stay afloat during that time? What have you seen so far this season that makes you believe that?
It's the pitching. That was the big question. And look, it hasn't been perfect. We saw Kyle Harrison run to, go from looking really good to really bad in a very short span yesterday. Brandon Sproat obviously has not been great aside from one start. But Miz seems to be taking massive steps forward. Woodruff, we've seen it look good in various forms, whether it's the Miami start where his fastball started creeping up, it starts where he just throws a bunch of changeups. Like, he has been able to pitch his way to success. And the bullpen, I'm not there yet with saying they're back to their previous form, but there's been encouraging signs after a week and a half ago at this time. Like, that was a massive concern, and McGill's stuff still is not where it needs to be, but some of the other guys have rounded into form. But yeah, I would say it's the pitching, because that was such a big question. It still will be the thing to monitor, because they're going to take their lumps over the course of this year.
How much do they miss Jared Koenig in hindsight right now too, Curt? Because I think when that injury happened, it was like, oh, it's all right. We have Serpa and Uribe and McGill as all leverage guys in 7th inning and on. But Jared Koenig, 2 great years in a row now for Milwaukee. He could be an opener for an inning whenever they wanted, if Murphy wants to throw that around. And now I know there was some worry about he lost a little weight. His velo went a little down in the offseason, but it would just be another option at this point for the Brewers to put a different guy in a leverage role, it feels like.
Yeah, you said it too. He can be the opener, because he's really good against lefties, but he also has stuff to get righties out as well. And if he was looking like he did last year, as opposed to kind of the version we saw in spring and then at the start of the year when he was pitching through some elbow discomfort, that's going to be a question though to follow. Like, is he going to get back to the version we saw from him last year? Because elbow injuries, although it seems like he avoided a major one, those aren't always conducive to returning to your previous form. Just ask, kind of how Trevor McGill looks coming off his elbow injury last year.
Curt Hogg joining us here on the Mason Crosby Show. Human Wednesday, no Mason. You've got Thunder and Tommy here with Curt. And we were talking a lot about, you're talking about Koenig, but before that, talking a lot about the pitching. And as we're talking about a number of these young pitchers who are growing into their major league careers, and or the guys at AAA, Drowan, Henderson, Crow, Gasser, a bunch of those guys. What will it take, or do the Brewers need like 5 starters? And especially as we look at what happened in the playoffs last year with kind of the mess of Woody being hurt and not really knowing what was going on with the starting pitching staff. You have 8, 9, 10 guys who are all major league ready mostly, and all who have had some success at the major league level. But how do you get from like, hey, it's great that we have 10 really good guys, to having 4 or 5 guys who are going to win playoff games?
Well, this is sort of, I think, one of the reasons why the Brewers have been able to outperform, kind of what the numbers say they're going to do going into every year is they don't know who we don't know who the 5 guys are going to be, but they've got guys who they feel confident have a chance to be one of those 5 pitchers. And, who knows, how it looks for Brandon Sproat, how it looks for Kyle Harrison, how it looks for Chad Patrick in 2 months from now. And like Logan Henderson looks really good at AAA. Coleman Crow, that start over the weekend. You can't tell me he doesn't have big league stuff right now. And so it has to be difficult for, whether it's Robert Gasser too, it has to be difficult for those guys to a degree to, be quote unquote stuck in Nashville, when all of those guys can and you could argue even should be pitching in the big leagues in a starting capacity right now. But Matt Arnold went in the offseason with like a clear objective of we cannot have too much starting pitching. And I just feel like it's going to work itself out one way or another, whether those guys are pitching in the bullpen down the stretch, giving you length, just like the hodgepodge it together. Who knows? But it definitely puts a little pressure on a guy like Brandon Sproat too, to like, hey, you got to pitch now, because we have guys that can get results that are in Nashville right now.
Absolutely. Curt, I want to kind of relate this question topic with going back to Terang. How much does the farm impact an extension with Terang? Because all their top guys, Madej, Pena, Williams, and Pratt, I believe are their top 4 from Pipeline, all middle infielders. And I would love your reaction on the Cooper Pratt deal here as well. That happened, was that about a month ago, maybe a couple weeks ago now? Did that shock you, surprise you, stand out in any way?
Yeah.
And just go ahead and speak on that.
Yeah, it didn't surprise me that the Brewers were like interested in getting a deal with their minor leaguers. Like, that's what they do. That shouldn't be secret knowledge. If you're wondering, did they approach this guy for Sal? Did they approach Bryce? Yes, the answer is yes. They approached them. What surprised me obviously was the Boris element of it. And in our conference call with Boris and Cooper, you could tell that was not the agent's decision. Cooper kind of had to talk his way into that one and felt like it was the best call for him. But yeah, no, Tommy, that absolutely could impact it. The Brewers feel like they just have so many options that, look, if we're not going to be getting a surplus value contract, then guess what? We'll have Jesus Madej at, league minimum. And look, I'm in the camp of like, just, pay up on Bryce Terang, because this guy is a superstar and is going to be one of the 10 to 15 best players in all of baseball, if he's not already. All the ingredients are there for him to do that. They love the makeup as well. But this is the Brewers. We know where that what the reality is of that situation. So yeah, realistically, you can still fill it out with a lot of guys who could be the next Terang, who have incredible pedigree. Pena's off to an incredible start. Madej's off to an incredible start. So yeah, that's a very good point to bring up, is like you can backfill, whereas like Jackson Chourio leaves, little thinner in the outfield.
Sure. Yep. Are you going to do another top 30 this year, Curt?
We'll see. I've been bad about watching enough minor league baseball. I've watched some, but like not enough to to like know exactly how these guys look. But maybe for you, Tommy, I might do it for you.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to wonder if you were going to wait until like Madej makes his debut or Pena makes his debut and then you just throw them all the way up the board again like you did with Miz last year.
You guys could collab on this. You guys could collab on a top 30. Like, I would listen to that podcast all day.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I would be down.
Tommy, you do it. Why don't you just do it?
I did a top 30 last year because I was releasing mine at the same time you were, and then I called you out because you had Miz at number 1, which hey, good switch at the end, probably good switch, but I did think you were cheating until he made a major league debut.
Nice.
Well, he looked good. What can I say?
He looked really good. He looked really good.
Curt, real quick. Churio, Vaughn, Yelich, Priester. Updates on there. I know Priester's got a rehab going on this week. Any update on their timetables?
Churio's hitting this week. He'll be the first back, I would believe, of that group because they'll probably, with the pitching options they have, they'll probably extend Priester for a while. But it'll be interesting to see what his stuff looks like. Not to overreact too much to a minor league rehab, but react a little bit to it because that's a pretty gnarly injury. Yeah. And then sounds like Vaughn, I would think, and then Yelich on the tail end of that. I just feel like they're going to be conservative with Yelich's injury to make sure it's not something that like pops back up. That makes sense. That just tracks.
Curt, thank you so much for jumping on today. We had an absolute blast. Looking forward to your podcast with Tommy on the top 30. And that'll be must listen. Cannot wait for that.
Well, and you got another podcast you're out right now too. Tell us about Brewers Territory.
Yeah, Brewer Territory. Corey Knable, JP Fireeisen, and I on YouTube 3 times a week. Subscribe.
Ooh, nicely done.
Smash the like button.
Brewer Territory. Smash. Nice. All right, Curt, thanks so much. We'll definitely catch up with you soon.
All right, thanks, fellas.
You bet. Curt Hogg, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Brewer Territory is the podcast again with Knable and Fireeisen.
He's a Wisconsin guy, right?
I think he is, and just one of the best names ever, obviously.
JP Fireeisen. He's like a point guy. No, River Falls.
River Falls. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I was about to say, I think I remember that. So, good for him. Good for Curt.
And back to Curt, our original line of questioning. DL Hall, your opener tonight. Chad Patrick to get the win.
Okay.
Can I
say that? Putting it out there right there.
Yeah, DL Hall's going to pitch an inning, maybe 2.
I did have
Chad Patrick.
I believe it was.
We'll pitch 4 and get the win.
I believe it was Schlitz hat Pat yesterday on the post-game show texting in, but I completely agree with him. Like, they got to go all out today. Throwaway game tomorrow. Skubal on the bump.
Yeah, why not?
Lefty, Skubal.
Yeah,
just
win today.
Burn everyone today.
Win today. Yes. He's Tommy. I'm Thunder. We are the Mason Crosby Show. Plenty still to get to on today's show. Will the Packers trade all their picks to get into the first round? No. It's the Mason Crosby Show.
Y'all ready to do this?
Yo, what's up, guys? What's up?
Thunder and Tommy, it's about time.
Let's rip this up.
This is the Mason Crosby Show. Mitch Nellis, Tommy Wirtz with you. Thunder and Tommy. Our thanks to Curt Hogg joining us on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call.
That's all.
Oh, nailed it. Yeah. So stuff.
How do you feel after that conversation with Curt?
I pretty great, I feel like.
Great.
Yeah. Like, I feel like everything he said was positive. He thinks they're going to get a deal done with Bryce Terang, I feel like. Like, he didn't say it, but I feel like he thinks that's going to happen.
I actually think that Curt is doing the city of Milwaukee a service.
How so?
That he's like, hey, start talking about this. Start making noise. Start buying the Terang jerseys.
Hey, that's what we did 13 months ago. We've been banging this drum for a year.
I get it, but now it's like, hey, go out there, make sure Bryce Terang becomes the most marketable person on this Milwaukee Brewers team.
Well, he's never going to be that because he doesn't have the personality.
No, dude, that's completely wrong. No,
not completely wrong.
No. He's getting better. He's getting
he might be getting
better,
but he's never going to be like this outgoing, rules the room type of guy.
I think he is working towards. So I brought this up yesterday on the post-game show as well, that Christian Yelich, he is always seen as the leader of this Brewers team, the leader of that clubhouse. And he gets a bunch of bonus points for being the leader, even if he is not the most productive.
Well, but he also has his home run derby celebrity jam. And he's like hanging out with Omar Carnivore. He's like out and about in the community. He's doing stuff.
Well, Terang's been out and about in the community more recently, too. He was just at that Packer game this year with Tress Way because it's his brother-in-law. No. Don't be painting this like that. This is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Christian Yelich, overall personality-wise, pretty reserved guy.
Yes.
Pretty quiet guy.
Yep.
He shows a little bit of emotion here and there in the game. He's very talkative with his teammates. And his post-game media availabilities are all the same tone.
Yes.
They're all the exact same.
Agreed.
But he is shown as a lead-by-example type leader in that Brewers clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as personalities go, Bryce Terang is pretty damn similar to a Christian Yelich personality. And the transition of the guard or the passing of the torch that could be a leader in a clubhouse, as far as a personality standpoint, seems like it could be a little bit less like stressful if it went from a Yelich to a Terang.
I hear what you're saying.
As opposed to Willie Adames, who is a very loud, outgoing,
love that,
funny, Gomez, same type of guy, right? Like they're just, not obnoxious. That's not the word, but just outgoing, right?
Yeah.
A lot more outgoing, personable in that way. But the clubhouse is always, the Brewers go after a certain guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
They go after a certain type of player. They go after a person. Then they go after a baseball player to get them in the clubhouse.
Yeah. It's a little different guys who've come up with the organization versus guys who they went out and acquired Yelich.
Sure.
But knowing that Yelich was their type of guy, you don't always know when you're drafting an 18, 19-year-old what they're going to develop into. I hear what you're saying on Terang, and I heard you and Tim get into it a little bit last night, where Tim was challenging you a little bit on whether Bryce Terang's a leader, and you were, leader by example. And I don't think anybody can debate leader by example. Absolutely.
Sure.
And when you're, on pace to be the best player on the team, you have to lead, whether you're leading or not, whether it's by example or whether it's because you are outspoken and you're loud and you're energetic. And we know that Bryce Terang's never really going to be that guy. He's going to be the lead by example type of guy.
Curt Hogg just called him a top 15 player in baseball.
Yeah. When you are that type of player, there does need to be a voice in the locker room. There does need to be a voice in the community. There does need to be a voice through the media to the people. And I think with all the young players the Brewers have, it'll be interesting to me to see who that develops into, with the pretty strong realization that it's not Bryce Terang. Like Bryce Ring's not going to be the face of the Brewers in a community energy sort of way. He's going to be the face of the Brewers in terms of production on the field. And that is absolutely a form of leadership. And I think that's great. And I think that's needed. But I think both are needed. So I am interested to see over the next couple of years who that ends up being. I mean, listen, we talked about the whole first hour. If Garrett Mitchell stays healthy the next 2 seasons, Garrett Mitchell could be that guy because he is more that guy. I think he has taken that piece of him away because he's not comfortable with where his major league career is right now. But I think he could end up being that guy.
I wonder, I mean, his clock started and this is his 4th year. How much team control do they even have left to Garrett Mitchell?
That's a good question. If he tears
He's
it
got
up,
2 more of arbitration years after this year. They have control of Bryce Terang longer than they do of Garrett Mitchell.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is. But that's been his career. That's how it's gone. 414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law talk and text line 414-677-1250. So after talking to Curt Hogg, I am enthused. I know, 920 writes in, I truly believe that we need to dump Yelich and his bad back. We need other players extended. That's interesting. That there's a move on from Yelich sentiment. And as much of a leader and community member he's been, I don't know how, man. So I got into this conversation last night at softball. Somebody asked me about Giannis. And I said, do we think Giannis is going to stay? There's some rumors that Giannis has met with Taylor Jenkins over the past couple of days in Milwaukee, and that the Bucks are talking to Jenkins about their open head coaching position. And I said, do you trust that Giannis can play more than 60 games a year in the next 4 years? And I'm not sure I can. Now, marketing-wise, he still might be worth $270 million to the Bucks.
Sure.
But on the court, I'm not sure he is if he averages 55 games a year for the next 4 years. Like and that's and maybe I'm wrong. Like I would love to Giannis to walk in and be like, I'm going to be in the better shape than I've ever been. I'm not going to play. I'm going to play smarter, not harder. I'm not going to get hurt. And like maybe that works out, but I don't know. I just don't know.
Can the Brewers prove that Bryce Terang is $200 million worth of marketable in Milwaukee?
I don't think so.
No,
not right now. No. I mean, he really would have to be the best second baseman in baseball.
Do you know if he goes to the Dodgers?
No, shut up. Shut up. Rams on the north side of Milwaukee. Ram, you're on the Mason Crosby show with Thunder and Tommy.
Wow. That's an interesting question. I have a question and I have a comment. So, and I'm going to direct this to Mitch. I just want to hear what you have to say. So, when it comes to injury management, the organization I point to is the Golden State Warriors.
Okay.
Because they had 3 players that had 3 major injuries and won 4 championships, and the players are still there. So now, the Bucks have the connection with the medical college and I don't understand why they can't get the injury thing right with Giannis' knee and with several other players. And then the other thing I want to ask you is, when you talk about paying Bryce Terang this type of money, which I think he probably could develop into that type of player, do you think he can develop into the magnitude of like an Aaron Rodgers or Giannis? Like if they go ahead and go down this trail from what you see, because so far what I'm looking at, I don't know. I mean, it's year by year in baseball, because things happen. But you think that could happen? I'll take the answer off the air, Mitch. Thanks for taking my call.
Ram, great questions. I'm going to let you, Tommy, answer that first one about Bryce. Like when we had Giannis and Aaron Rodgers and Christian Yelich all in the MVP conversations, can Bryce Terang be in an MVP conversation? Ryan Braun was that guy, and he was in MVP conversations. Christian Yelich then got paid, and he was in MVP conversations. If you want to pay Bryce Terang, does he have to be in an MVP conversation to get paid that much money?
Do people care about all MLB teams yet? Remember when they did that?
No.
Like, people don't care about that, right?
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, there's first team, there's second team now, or whatever it is.
But he might be in that conversation, but he's not like the consensus first team second baseman on the all MLB team.
Outside of the city of Chicago, I think he is.
Outside of the city of Phoenix, I don't think he is.
Well, yeah, I think Bryce Terang can absolutely prove his worth as a baseball player, that he could be. Curt Hogg just called him top 15 right now.
Okay.
So yeah, I definitely think that he's capable of getting MVP votes and being that valuable to this Brewers team.
Okay. All right. In terms of injury management, Ram brought up, I know, listen, you are any major league sport, NFL, baseball, hockey, basketball, others, tennis, golf, whatever it is, they all have world-class medical people. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that Giannis doesn't have, like, he has world-class medical people around him. Dame had world-class medical people around him. Chris Middleton had world-class medical people around him. I think when you're that big and that strong and you push your body to that limit, it's not going to be easy. It's hard, and there's no guarantees that what you want to have happen ends up happening. And I think that's okay. So that is a hard pill to swallow, but I think that's the pill. Like, Giannis isn't getting any younger. He still plays really hard all the time, which we want him to, but I still think that, like, as the way he plays, there are going to be injuries. And I think that the Bucks have to take that under consideration, just like the Brewers need to take it under consideration with Christian Yelich. Crawdaddy's in Milwaukee. Crawdaddy, what's up, my brother?
Hey, guys. Appreciate the show. I got 3 quick comments for you. One, I agree with Giannis. He just plays so hard. He's different. He does have world-class doctors, and you just can't solve that with physicians. 2, I definitely think Bryce Terang could win an MVP. He's more like a Robin Yount kind of guy. I don't think he's ever going to be super forward. If I were to choose a guy that could be the face and the mouth of the Brewers, I think it's going to be the young babyface Miz. As he has success, he seems to be the kind of guy that will, open up to the public.
Yep.
And, man, I would absolutely sign Bryce Terang. And Mark Attanasio just needs to take a vision of $150 to $160 million a year payroll for a 5-year period of time. And this team starts winning a couple of, playoff divisions, leagues, maybe the World Series. So thanks, guys.
Awesome, Crawdaddy. Thanks for the call. Listen, if Bryce Terang is in an MVP conversation, not only is that awesome for Bryce Terang, but that bodes well for the Milwaukee Brewers because he's playing at a very high level. His OPS is almost 1,000. If he can keep that up if this is the Bryce Terang we have for the entire season, and he's hitting 25 home runs and stealing 35 bases, playing platinum glove second base, and getting on base every single game, which he has done this season. Tommy, every single game, right?
Every game.
Every game.
The only two Brewers who have had a longer streak to begin a season are Robin Yount and Ryan Braun.
I mean, that's a great sentence right there. Great company to be in. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis. We are the Mason Crosby Show. This is the Mason Crosby Show. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Tommy Wirtz. I know we only got a little time left here. Tommy, I don't think it's a big deal, but why do the Dodgers get to have 14 pitchers on their roster?
I don't know. Like,
I
do
don't
I
think
want
they
to
should.
not agree with this just because Craig said it? Is that where my brain is?
No, don't be Sparky.
I just think
Sparky
that
just wants to,
baseball has a lot of dumb rules.
Yep.
Baseball has a ton of dumb rules.
Yep.
Baseball made a dumb rule so that the best player they have seen come into the sport in 100 years could be showcased.
But I don't think the rule does that. I think he's showcased regardless. Right? He's Shohei. Like, he doesn't need, they don't need to make up this rule that the Dodgers can have, like, that if you have a two-way player, it doesn't count against the 13 pitchers to showcase Shohei.
I mean, if the
he's
Dodgers
showcased anyway.
They did this rule when he was in LA and no one had a problem. With the Angels, rather.
Right.
This rule has been around for a little bit.
It's true. It's a good point.
So now it's with the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are just way better than everyone,
right?
and it feels worse.
Yeah.
So if there was a real problem with this, it should have got resolved in 2020.
Leadoff show. What time you got today?
4:30. We're going to interrupt Sparky again.
Nice. Love that. And remember, Friday night, there's going to be Green Bay draft coverage. Sparky and Charlie are going to be on the air for like 47 straight hours Friday night. Can't wait for that.
Brutal.
Yeah, for them. He's Tommy. I'm Thunder. We're the Mason Crosby Show. Mason's back tomorrow.
I was